Studying is not a skill that many seventh graders have mastered quite yet. Most students feel that they don't need to study, that they will either do as well or as poorly on the test as they always do. They don't realize the impact that even short periods of review can have to improve our performance. Other students aren't sure how to study. They've sat down at their kitchen tables in the past and they've reread chapters or flipped back through notebooks and haven't felt much different afterwards. Studying is not easy, yet research tells us some important lessons. First, the more active we are in our review, the more likely it is that we will remember more of the information that we are looking over. Our brains need to be exercised, just like our bodies. Oftentimes in research, this is referred to as active retrieval. We need to push our brains to think about and pull out from the different memories that we have formed the information that is most important. We also need to exercise metacognition, where we're thinking about our thinking. We consider which tools are useful for us and not, what type of learner we are, and how confident we are in different concepts from the unit. Putting those two skills together can help students review in an effective way and make the most use out of their time. In middle school, our goal is to provide students with the tools and examples and resources necessary to do that. We are building most of the materials. The goal is that the students will begin to use them. And as they use them more and more, they'll learn which tools are most useful for them and, growing older, be able to create some of those own types of tools for themselves as they enter into high school and college, where independence becomes more their responsibility. The first major tool that students get from my class is the study strategy sheet. Given out at the end of each unit on gray paper, this sheet lists the different tools available for that unit. Some will be consistent throughout the year. Others are unique to each set of study that we are engaged in. Most study strategy sheets will highlight the student learning map. It can be an excellent way to begin or end your review. On your unit map, which is in green paper at the front of your binder, students should have been recording LEQs as we go through the unit. In this way, they hopefully will practice the metacognition of thinking about what it is we're learning. In social studies, we include the specific assessment prompts underneath each of those LEQs. The goal is to identify for students the very precise skills they need to be able to manage if they will be prepared for the unit test. For example, in our first LEQ on why do historians study religion, we expect students to be able to justify the reasons that we study religion in school. If students could list 1, 2, or 3 reasons and be able to explain them out loud, that shows they are prepared for this task. If not, they should locate the handouts addressing LEQ 1 and spend some more time reviewing that area. In addition to the student learning map, students also have a study guide. If the study strategy sheet emphasizes what to do, the study guide emphasizes what they need to learn. So this sheet helps them to know how to study. The study guide helps them know what to study. In general, there are some blanks that students can fill in, perhaps a few practice tasks, but overall, it's meant to list the topics and details that students need to know in order to be successful on the test. Almost everything on the test will be listed in some form on the study guide. Students will have access to the study guide in several different locations so that they can get an answer key in order to check their work. It is not something that they must complete or turn in for a grade. Rather, it is one possible tool. Oftentimes, there are different ways to use it. Some students will go in and try to match items on the study guide to the different handouts they can find the answers. Others will try and fill it in word for word. Some will have friends, parents, or partners quiz you or create flashcards to quiz themselves. The notebook is another important tool for students, But again, simply flipping through those pages won't help very much in preparing. Instead, students should read through for a purpose, perhaps asking themselves what's the main idea of this handout, perhaps comparing it to the student learning map and thinking about how they can find answers to the different APs on it, perhaps marking areas that are related to items that are on the study guide. From there, students will be more actively retrieving information from their brain rather than just looking over notes they've already taken. Most of the resources that students have access to are online, especially through the Schoology. Even the items labeled here as Google Drive can be found through the Schoology. Students access Schoology from the school district webpage, scrolling down the Students tab. With each unit, as it comes time to study, I will open up a review folder at the bottom of the unit list. In that folder will be several different tools. The study guide and the study guide answer key can be found in Schoology. Students can use this answer key whenever they are unable to locate a specific response or whenever they are unsure exactly what Mr. Angelini is looking for. I would not spend time going to the answer key right away and just copying down all of the answers. Instead, use your own brain first and then turn to the study guide to check problem spots. In the review folder, students can also find a notebook check practice and a practice quiz. The notebook check practice allows students to attempt a review in which the questions are organized by handouts. Each question will be labeled with which handout it comes from so that students can begin by thinking through their brains and then check their work or check their notes to see how accurate their answers are. One of the other positives of the notebook check on the Moodle is that it will allow students to check their answers immediately after they submit the response. In some, I even write out explanations about why a particular answer is right or wrong. The second practice quiz in the review folder is what's known more as a simulation. The questions are not exactly the same as you would find on the test, but they are very similar. And the idea is if students are successful on these questions, it means they are close to prepared for the test itself. I try not to use the exact same questions because I want students to be learning the ideas and the facts and the skills, not the questions, but I do make them similar. On the Schoology folder, you can also find answer keys in a Google Drive folder to all of our handouts, and you can find a more general review folder that includes all sorts of different sheets that may prove useful. Some of these we'll have done in class, but others are materials that we perhaps didn't have time for and I still think are valuable. Finally, there's a list of online reviews. Using the instructions and links in this document, students will be able to load up Kahoots and Quizlets that can help them to practice some of the different vocabulary and knowledge that are important on the test. Many students find these to be some of the most effective strategies. They can be very useful and they're often quite fun, but I encourage students to use a range of tools and not just the games over and over again. Remember that it's not always easy for me to put questions in the format of a Kahoot or a Quizlet. Some of our more in-depth topics don't fit smoothly into that type of game. If I can't ask the question, that might be a problem when you go to take the test and all you've done are the Quizlets and Kahoots. It's better to try a few different things over the week.